Good afternoon. We're back with another card review. This time it's the Hills of Emyn Muil. Last AP, A Journey to Razgobel, was a little underwhelming in the new cards, and I ranked it third of the APs. Let's take a look at this one. Brand, Son of Bane, is the hero, tactics hero. Good stats, 232. 10 threat is a little high, a little higher than I'd like. For a tactics hero. Response: after Brand, Son of Bane attacks and defeats an enemy engaged with another player, choose and ready one of that player's characters. So it's not good in solo play. Ranged is nice, but you're gonna, if you need ranged and you're a solo player, you're gonna play Legolas. Legolas has less questing power, but his card text makes up for it with progress added to the quest. So yeah, and Legolas has less threat. You're gonna play Legolas, not this if you're a solo player. Is this good in multiplayer? After he attacks and defeats an enemy engaged with another player, it's got uses. It's not terrible. 10 threat is a little high for a tactics hero. Typically, you're gonna run a higher threat hero for leadership or possibly lore. And adding, if you're going to use a hero who I would describe as a supporting hero, not a main character, you'd prefer it to have 9 or 8 threat. So you don't start out at 30, which is an important number. I almost never design a deck that starts out at 30 threat or more. There are scenarios where it doesn't matter really what your starting threat is, but I don't like to design one-off decks. I like to design decks that work against most, if not all, of the quests that have been released so far, if possible. And starting out at threat over 30 is a non-starter because Journey Down the Anduin will engage the Hill Troll first turn. So, and it's a problem in Conflict at the Carrick too, because you only get a couple of turns before you hit that important threshold of 34. So 10 is a little high for a tactics hero. If it's a supporting hero, if it's a main character, you're building your deck around, okay. You're not going to build your deck around this guy. Definitely not in solo play. And in multiplayer, his ability isn't strong enough to build your entire deck around. It's a nice supporting ability. You get a couple of uses out of it. Is he better than Legolas in multiplayer? Would you rather have 2 progress tokens, or would you rather have one of your friend's heroes ready? Or it could be a character, so you could ready Gandalf. I think in most situations you'd rather have the 2 progress tokens. There are scenarios with a lot of combat where this would be nice. So I describe him as decent but niche in multiplayer, and definitely not an essential hero to have. Definitely not an essential hero to have. Keen-Eyed Took. 2 cost, 1 questing ability. After Keen-Eyed Took enters play, reveal the top card of each player's deck. Return Keen-Eyed Took to your hand to discard the top card of each player's deck. What? Why would you want to do that? Is that just a troll card? Why would you ever want to discard the top card of every player's deck? Well, I guess if you hate your friends and you want to mess with them. I don't know what to say about that card. Am I misreading the text? Why would you want to discard the top card of each player's deck? Why would you care about revealing the top card of each player's deck? Why is that important? Okay, anyway, we're going to move on to the next card. Rear Guard, 1 cost leadership. Discard a leadership ally to give each hero committed to this quest +1. Discard a leadership ally. Discarding cards is one of my least favorite mechanics. I do it as infrequently as possible. The logic being my decks are designed so that every card has a purpose, every card is valuable. You're never going to build a deck thinking I'm just playing this card to discard it. Sometimes you build a deck with multiple unique cards and they just clog up your hand. And so in that case, would this card be good? If you were discarding a unique card that you already had on the table to give each hero committed to this quest +1, so it's +3 questing ability. If all your heroes are committed, more likely it's going to be +1 or +2. So discard in the event that you had a unique leadership ally in your hand that you didn't need and you wanted to throw it away for +2 questing ability. That's fine. It's too niche, though. That situation is too niche for this card to be good. Most of the time, this card would clog up your hand. Descendant of Throndor. 4 cost, 1/1, 2 health. After Descendant of Throndor enters or leaves play, deal 2 damage to any one area. Direct damage is amazing. 4 cost is not amazing. If you were going to put, this is 4 cost. I've said this before about tactics cards, about any 4 cost card really. Anytime you see a card that costs 4 and you're wondering, should I include this in my deck? Ask yourself, am I going to be putting Steward of Gondor on the hero from that sphere? At this point in the game anyway. Maybe later there'll be more resource generation methods. But at this point, ask yourself, with any 4 cost card, am I going to be putting Steward of Gondor on that hero this game? If the answer is no, you can get away with 1 4 cost card in that sphere. That's all you're going to really get the chance to play from a practical point of view. Because think about it, with no Steward of Gondor, it takes 4 turns to generate the resources to play this card. So you want to play 2 of them. You're talking about an 8-turn game. A lot of games don't last 8 turns. The scenario we just played, Journey to Razgul, is like a 4-turn quest. Win or lose. So you won't even get the chance to play this card in that quest, probably. Most quests, you get one card like this. So is this the best high-cost card you could include from Tactics? Depends on the hero you're playing. If you were playing Tactics and you didn't need Citadel Plate, would this be good? It might be worth messing around with. In certain scenarios, 2 direct damage can be quite powerful against certain enemies. Yeah. This is a good card. It's a good card. It's going to frustrate you sometimes because you're really going to want to kill something and you won't have the resources for it. Could be a great card if you're putting Steward on your Tactics hero, because you get to use it twice after it enters and leaves. It only works on something in the staging area. Well, that is a big negative. I should have read the text more thoroughly. Only works on one enemy in the staging area. It's still good. That makes it a little more niche. If it was any enemy, this would be a good card. Any enemy, this would be a good card. As it is, there's situations where it could be good. There's situations where it could be a lifesaver. Like against archers that are just sitting there and you can't kill them. Or you can't engage with them. Against certain bosses, getting 2 damage on it early can be a big deal. But there's also going to be situations where it's a dud because it's limited focus. So, not an essential card. Decent, might be worth messing around with. It's a new card. It's fun to use new cards. Stick it in a deck, see how it does if you're playing Tactics. But not essential. Meneldor's Flight. 0 cost, choose an eagle ally, return that character to its owner's hand. Why would you want to do that? You want to return Gandalf to your hand so you don't discard him. Why would you want to return an eagle ally to your hand? Because it's wounded and you want to replay it healthy? Man, that's, well, probably a card for fun decks only. I can't even think of a use for it in fun decks. It's not particularly thematic. Eagles are known for rescuing others, not themselves. Like in the books, an eagle doesn't grab another eagle and fly off to safety. Yeah, I wouldn't even really play that in a fun deck. I don't know why that exists. Now, there's always cards like that. You look at it and you're like, why? And maybe their purpose is to throw a spotlight on the actual good cards. Next card, Rittermark's Finest. 2 cost 1/1/2. Exhaust and discard Rittermark's Finest to place 2 progress tokens on any location. I like this a little bit. I'd like it better if you didn't have to exhaust. So you're probably going to play this. If you don't have something, a location you want to get rid of, you're going to quest with it for a turn or two. It could also be a chump blocker. A small guy that blocks a big attack. I like it a little bit. It's not essential. It's kind of cool that it's a creature. I suppose that could make Radagast a little better. But you're not going to play Radagast just for this. It's cool that it's Rohan. That could come into play. Placing 2 progress tokens on any location can be a lifesaver. It can really, really, really be good when you're facing location lock or you're facing a 2 progress location that has a bad effect when you travel there. So there's situations where this card can really, really be good. I would play it in a deck where you're focusing a lot on location control. I wouldn't throw it in every deck. Next card, Ride to Ruin. Discard a Rohan ally to choose a location. Place 3 progress tokens on that location. Okay, well, which Rohan allies would you play this with? Placing 3 progress tokens on any location is really, really strong. Discarding an ally is not strong. 1 cost is good. So which allies would you be comfortable discarding? Usually you're not playing allies thinking, this ally I don't like enough that I wouldn't miss it. So usually you're discarding something you kind of like in favor of an effect you like more, which means this is like an emergency effect, not something you play instantly when you draw it. It's more like emergency, I need to get rid of that location. So it's it's an emergency situation. It could be very good because location lock loses games. But in situations where it's not an emergency, you're not going to be happy to see this card. So you might have a spot for it in a location control deck. Give it a shot, I guess, if you've got this AP and C. Not an essential card. So far we have no essential cards in this AP. If you're thinking about which APs do I need to buy and which ones can I ignore. So far none of these cards are essential. None of them really unlock new strategies. This can be a nice card in a Rohan location control deck. That's about it. Gildor Inglorian. 5 costs, 3/2/3, 3 health. Exhaust Gildor Inglorian to look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Switch one of those cards with a card from your hand. Then return the top 3 cards to the top of your deck in any order. Well, that's thematic, especially considering the card text. 5 cost means if you're not playing Steward of Gondor on your lore hero, don't play this. You might be playing Steward of Gondor on your lore hero, considering Haldir is I kind of like, and he's 4 costs, so let's say you threw both Haldir and Gildor in the deck intending to put Steward on your hero. 3/2/3 is good. 3/2/3 is very good. There's a spot for him in a deck where you're putting Steward on your lore hero just for the stats. This effect isn't very useful. It could be But it's got the downside that the card you throw away from your hand, you're just going to get back soon. And you have to exhaust this hero to do it. If you didn't have to exhaust him to do it, that would be a good card. As it is, you're going to play him for the stats and not the ability. So, you know, throw him in a deck if you are intending to put Steward on your lore hero. Give it a try. Maybe one copy, maybe two. You don't want it clogging up your hand. He'll help. He'll help. Not essential. Gildor's Council. Play during the quest phase before characters are committed to the quest. Reveal one less card from the encounter deck this phase. It's a good effect when you're facing more than one encounter card. It's too expensive. It should be one cost, I think. Then we could have a conversation about this card. It's not worth 3 cost and a card to see one less card from the encounter deck. Because it doesn't typically take 3 cost and 1 card to deal with most cards that come off the encounter deck. It might take 0 cards. It might be as simple as saving yourself from 1 threat. Are you going to pay 3 cost and 1 card to save yourself from 1 threat? Would you do it to save yourself from 1 damage? And you don't even cancel a card coming off the encounter deck. You're just going to see it next turn. So it's really a prevent yourself from being overwhelmed if you're in danger of that. And if you're looking to prevent yourself from being overwhelmed, you're going to want to play an ally for 3 costs probably. So this is not good. It's overcosted. Even if you were playing Steward, it's overcosted on your lore hero. Song of Travel. Attached to a hero. Attached hero gains 1 resource icon. Pretty easy to analyze if you're running a deck without a tactics hero and you need some threat reduction. Galadrim's Greeting or something like that. Then you throw this in there and Galadrim's Greeting. I've never done that before. I love tactics as a sphere. I almost always play a tactics hero. So personally, I can't imagine myself using this too much. But it's got a use. It could be essential in a deck where that's constructed not using a tactics hero but needs threat reduction. This could be an essential card in that scenario. It's not as essential as Song of Kings. But there could be a deck out there that's pretty cool that you'll want to play and can't play without Song of Travel. Even so, this AP is underwhelming. There are no essential cards. You could easily skip it and not miss out on much. To be blunt. Easily. This is even weaker than Journey to Razgobel. I would rank it as 4th of the APs in terms of essential cards. So, until next time.